Hey, I'm Michael Bungay Senya from Box of Crayons. It's great to be back for another one of my monthly book reviews. Love doing this with you by video. You need to know that I read a lot of books. Most of them I give away. Most of them actually I borrow from the library and just return to the library because they're not worth keeping. So the ones that are on my shelf are classics, and they're ones that you should know about as well. That's why I love sharing with them in these monthly updates. I've been writing a lot on my blog this month about productivity, about getting things done. So you would think that if I was talking about getting things done, the place I would start with is David Allen's classic, Getting Things Done. Well, I love this book. I know David just a little, so I can vouch for what a nice guy he is, and also what a useful system this is. There's a reason this is constantly the #1 productivity book in the world. But it's not where I'm starting. I'm going to say you should already know about this book. If you don't, just go and grab it. You don't need me telling you about it. I want to actually tell you about some books that have come out in the last 2 or 3 years that I think are useful addendums, useful supplements to some of the insights around getting things done. I'm going to start with a book by my own publisher, Workman. They published Do More Great Work, and it is by Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist. Now you can see this is already an interesting design, and in fact it's a beautiful book. It sets out 10 key manifesto points that Austin believes that as an artist, he is an artist himself and a copywriter and does a bunch of creative stuff, help you to be a successful, thriving, productive person. You don't have to be an artist to find great value in this book. So there are 10 manifesto points. I want to share 2 of them with you right now. Number 4 is use your hands. Use your hands. Now you know and I know that we both spend too much time staring at a screen, tapping away on a keyboard, watching our backside grow larger. And his point, and I love it, is that you need to get up, you need to get moving, you need to use pen and paper, you need to get away from the computer screen. I know that when I'm doing my great work thinking, if you like, my strategy planning, it's me, a pen and a paper, sitting at a different place than my computer. And that's what actually helps me be productive and be creative. The other one I love about this, number 9, is be boring. Now I know that's counterintuitive, but here's the value of being boring. Being boring means that you look after yourself, you get enough sleep, you have a calendar, you're clear on what's due when, you have a log so you actually know how things are going, and you track what's working and what's not working. Being boring, and as he says, being boring it's the only way to get work done. And I completely agree with him. You need to have space for creativity. You need to have some rigor and disciplines to help focus that. So this is a fun, quick book, useful, great insights, nicely designed, easy one to pick up, easy one to give away as a gift as well, I would suggest. That's book number 1. I'm moving now from an artist to a surgeon. And Atul Gawande is a very interesting guy. I mean, he is a top-notch specialist surgeon. He writes for the New Yorker. He's written a couple of great books. And I happen to love this one. It's called the Checklist Manifesto. Atul Gawande. And here's what he comes to the conclusion of. He goes, people get checked into hospitals all the time. And a bunch of people die in surgery. Not a huge percentage overall. I think it was like a couple of percent maybe. But here's the real killer blow. Literally, I guess. Half the people who die in surgery die of preventative mistakes made by the operating team. And the insight that is at the heart of this book is the answer to complexity is simplicity. And that's such a powerful insight. It's worth sitting with for just a bit. His insight is this. If we have a simple checklist that a surgeon and his or her team goes through at the start of a surgery, it can significantly cut mortality during a surgery. Now, as you could guess, there is a certain amount of resistance to this, particularly from surgeons who are like, hey, I'm fantastic, who are you to tell me what to do? I don't need a checklist to check off. But here's the killer question. When asked, if you were being operated on, would you prefer to have a surgeon that used the checklist or who didn't use the checklist? More than 80% said, I prefer to go with the woman or the man with the checklist. Fantastic book. He talks just about the pilot who landed the plane on the Hudson. You remember that, the miracle on the Hudson. And everybody at the time went, oh, a fantastic pilot, so cool, so calm under pressure. How did he do it? Well, when you listen to the black box, the answer is really clear. The way he and his co-pilot did it is they went through the checklist. They recognized the system, they went to the process that they knew, they trusted the process, they worked the process, they landed the plane. Checklist Manifesto, Atul Gawande. Here's a great TED Talk as well, worth looking up. And the third and the final book that I would point you to is Making Ideas Happen by Scott Belsky. Scott founded the Behance movement, great blog called Behance, the 99% blog. It's very much about productivity and effectiveness. His organization serves the creative community, designers, artists, filmmakers, all those sort of guys, gals. And his insight is this: there's no shortage of good ideas in these places, but there is a shortage of execution of good ideas. So what can you do about that? And he recommends a basic action plan, and it's as simple as this. It's me knocking over my books. It's as simple as this. The action plan is create projects, so you have a start date and an end date. Love that, big advocate of that. And secondly, assign actions. So often you have projects and nobody's quite sure who's doing what. His big thing is give people actions. If there's something that's talked about, turn it into an action and assign the action. I also really like his responsibility grid. If you have a team, what are all the actions that get done by the team? Who are the people on the team? And make sure one person is the point person for every action. That in itself has been a big help for Box of Crayons and how we operate. So 3 great books, building on David Allen's Getting Things Done, Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist, Scott Belsky's Making Ideas Happen, and Atul Gawande, The Checklist Manifesto. 3 great books worth looking at if you want to get more things done, if you want to do more great work, and you know that's my commitment to you, to help you do more great work. These 3 books will help. I'm Michael Bungay Sanya from boxofcrayons.biz, B-I-Z.